Alright folks, in this particular video I'm discussing fuel system issues, trying to figure out if it's your fuel components or if it's your actual tune, trying to help you, trying to diagnose some of those issues. Now generally speaking, to start off with, when you have your fuel components, you want to have a fuel pump where you can uh, run enough pressure. Higher pressure brings your injector duty cycle down, keeps it at a nice happy medium, and still deliver enough fuel. The problem is if you've got a pump where you may have to lower the pressure to try and see if it'll give you more fuel delivery, it makes your injector duty cycle go up. Okay, so it's not always the best thing. Personally, I got tired of using the Walbro 450 pump. There were some different tricks I could have tried. I didn't really want to keep throwing money at it for something that may or may not have fixed my issue. So I got rid of that and went with a Magna fuel pump. All my issues instantly resolved as far as the upper end here. So, but sometimes you're not sure. I mean, you may think that you've got a new fuel pump, you've got all these brand new parts, and it can't be my fuel system components that are causing me the issue. It has to be your tune. May not be that situation as far as that's concerned, but there are a few things you can do. Now, of course, let's say if you are mass airflow sensor user, well, if you're on the upper end and you lower or you raise these sliders and it's still not giving you enough fuel, it's not bringing this the line down for your wideband, even though you're adding to it, well, then more than likely it's not going to be your tune. You may have a system issue there where you have to start diagnosing why you're having that issue in this particular area. So start looking to see what the cause could be. Is your fuel lines too small where it's keeping the pressure high and you're not getting enough flow out of your pump? Is your pump too small? Do you have a leak inside of your tank like some Walbro 450s or the Walbro 255s have? Is your regulator having issues? I believe I had an AEM, I think it was the AEM pump, had different orifices you could actually throw in there. And if you've got one too small, it may not allow enough fuel to go back to the, return back to the tank, and it keeps your pressure high. It may not have enough voltage to the pump. That's something to look for. Fuel pump rewire is always a good thing to be doing. If you haven't done that, that's a no-brainer. It's a cheap fix to try and fix that. But as you can see in this particular log, I'm over at 100%. I can't lower my fuel pressure any more than what I already have it because my injector duty cycle is already going down. So, or I'm sorry, my injector duty cycle is already high up, so I can't lower my fuel pressure any more than I already have it. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to make adjustments to my tune, see if I can fix that issue. But again, we've already discussed the mass airflow sensor, what you can do as far as raising these, and see if it fixes the issue. It's either going to fix it or it's not. If it starts coming down, keep doing what you're doing, keep making those adjustments. Okay. With speed density, what you may want to do, and when we're really only looking at the upper end, if everything at idle and cruise is fine, we're not worried about the rest of this table here. We're worried about the upper end. We're basically worried about this area of your tune. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Now, I always like to start off with a nice smooth table. I'm always stating that to anyone I speak to, or even in my videos. I may not want to go screwing around with this table and have to make a gazillion adjustments. So I may just want to leave this one alone because I'm already happy with it, and we're just doing tests to see if this is, if it's our tune or if it's my fuel components. One thing I like to do, an easy one, of course, again, remember that our global fuel settings look like they should be in line because we're tracking about where we want to be here. So I shouldn't be going way off, going lean in this area. Okay. Generally speaking, if this is not in the area where it needs to be, your wideband is a lot higher than your air fuel ratio estimate, then obviously first things first, you need to get your global fuel adjustments in line. Okay, you may have to add some fuel via your global adjustments. Now, with this particular program I'm using to record my screen here, it doesn't show my box if I hit the calculate button here, so I'm not even going to bother clicking on it. But obviously, if you're familiar with the program, you click calculate. It's going to pop your box up where you can put in a different injector size. Lowering that number helps add fuel, so you get that squared away to where your line here is basically tracking here where it should be. Then you shouldn't be having to worry about global. Okay, But the other thing you can do, one trick that not everyone knows about, as far as math comp sliders, this is a trick just to help you find out if you're a speed density user, to see if that's your problem without having to make adjustments to your speed density or the VE table. Uncheck your box here, disable math compensation with speed or with SD operation. Okay, when you uncheck this, any adjustments that you make here, add or subtract to that table. Okay, and that's actually what I've done here. I've raised these sliders here, trying to make that test, see if I could add fuel, and it's not resolving my issue. But actually, what you're actually doing, you're still logging math raw. Well, I don't have a mass airflow sensor. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have a Hertz value here. You're still going to be logging this. So you're just going to do just like you would if you were making adjustments with the mass airflow sensor. You're looking in that particular portion of the log and looking for that particular math Hertz section. And you see as I'm scrolling through, the math raw section is adjusting. So basically all you're doing, you're looking for a nice rounded out area, let's say 3200, okay? Go over to wideband factor where you're needing to add 20% or 20 and right at 20 and a half. So if I go to my 3200 slider, so I'm right here, I add 20% to that, and all the other ones in that area that it's adding fuel for, and then smooth it in, and it's still not making any difference, and it's still lean, then you know it's not a tune issue. You know you have a fuel system issue. That's where you have to start diagnosing. Might be banging your head against the wall. I get it. I understand, especially if you just purchased new parts. You may not want to be doing all that, but we're trying to get your car in line. Doesn't matter how much money you spent, how much money you got in your bank account. We're looking to try and get your car tuned. So these are the basics. I just want to throw this out there to help you guys. Also, too, keeping in mind, is your voltage good? You may have to test your voltage at your pump. There's different things there as far as your fuel components you may have to test. If you can get a fuel pressure sensor log, hook up and wire in, log your fuel pressure, see if your fuel pressure is dropping off. That is always a good indicator. Look inside the tank, try and do tests to see if your fuel pump is leaking inside the tank. Sometimes it could be leaking inside the tank. You won't know it because it's not leaking on the ground. It's leaking inside the tank and all your pressure is being dropped. So, but those are the things to be looking for. Just want to throw this out there for you guys because I do see it occasionally from time to time. And I'm constantly trying to say, look, you've got a system issue here with your fuel system, and people tend to want to argue with me that all their parts are good and there can't be. Yes, it can. So I just want to throw that out there. Hope it helps you guys. Feel free to post up any questions on the group or the ECMLink forums. Be more than happy to help you guys out. Y'all have a good one.